and the Furious. How to develop superior hand speed, timing, and accuracy. Bruce Lee once said that he was not the fastest, and he said that speed was an illusion. So everybody said, Bruce Lee, you're so fast. He's like, no, I've met many people much more faster than I am, but I'm just more elusive. That quote has stuck with me my entire career as I've really looked into how to develop speed. Are you born with speed? How do you develop speed? Are some of it natural or is some of it developed? And how do you take yourself, regardless of how much is natural, to the levels that you could take to with the right training and tactics and tools? And that's what this series is designed to do. When we take a look at that statement, what he said with regards to speed being an illusion, think about it. There's old masters that you encounter. They're much older than you, so they're not younger than you, so they don't have the age factor, but they're faster than you. How are they faster than you? They're not physically faster than you, but it appears like they're faster than you. And the reason is that they have a great control over time and space. So the first thing where we have to start off with understanding the philosophy of speed is that speed comes down to perception and relaxation first. So perception, where are you in time and space? Are you perceiving? Where's your attention and where's your awareness? Can you feel what's about to happen? Can you anticipate what's going to happen? That all is going to impact speed, and that comes down to your stillness. Are you up in your mind thinking and worrying about what's going to happen? The moment you think, you go into the past and you become slower. So that's a big part of it, the perception. Your ability to perceive your opponent, you perceive the environment, your ability to capitalize on openings and your ability to close openings comes down to perception. Then the next piece is relaxation. So relaxation comes down to, are you efficiently using your techniques? Have you developed them in the right coordination? That means that when you're doing a technique, are you relaxed, and then you explode out and then relax again? Have you figured that coordination of your body out, the breathing out, and your intention out? So relaxation is a big part of it, making sure that your body is not fighting itself. So relaxation comes down to mastering your body and its coordination in three realms: the physical, the mental, and the energetic. So what do I mean by that? Posture, breathing, and intent. Is your posture efficient? Is your breathing intact? As you hold your breath, you're going to create tension. And the next piece is your mind's intent. Where's your mind's intent? First, the mind's intent has to be on learning the technique, practicing the technique, mastering and functionalizing the technique. But after a while, you have to get so good at it that you can let go of the technique and the technique hits it all by itself. As Bruce Lee said, I didn't hit, it hits. You have to kill the I, the ego, the wanting to succeed, the desire for victory. And when you do that, it can hit by itself. So how do we develop that? This is what this series is about. And finally, last but not least, with regards to speed, speed comes down to managing time and space. Again, impacted by perception, footwork, and sensitivity. So how do we do that? And that's the whole goal of this series, is to give you an idea to develop perception and relaxation, to allow you to master your posture, your breathing, and your intent in 3 dimensions of space, with regards to forward, back, up, down, left, right. With regards to your keen sense of timing, to the ability to perceive time, to slow things down when tension is going on all around you, and come right into the moment and away from your thoughts so that it can hit all by itself. Stick with me. There are 3 categories of speed. There's what we call a hard skill, a soft skill, and a confident skill. So hard skill is the speed with regards to how you develop yourself without respect to another opponent. So what I mean by that is when I train by myself, how well I practice my acceleration, my deceleration, how well I can pace myself, how well I can change the direction, but all with regards to controlling only myself and in no relation to another person or the environment. The soft skill comes down to how do I take the hard skills and apply those with regards to somebody else that is trying to stop me from succeeding. So soft skills are things like anticipation, things like perception, things like interception, okay? All these things come down to developing the soft skill, the keen sense of awareness, developing your ability first to connect to an opponent, then the ability to adapt to the opponent, and then the ability to create openings with the opponent. All these things require speed. How quickly do you attack? How quickly do you connect? and read their motions and movements and find their openings? And how quickly can you create and manipulate the situation by using deception and interception by breaking down time? And finally, the last skill is confidence skill. If you're not confident, you're going to hesitate, and that's going to slow you down. It's that simple. If you're not confident, you're going to be up in your head thinking. You don't believe in yourself. That's a big part when it comes down to speed. You've got to believe. There can't be a single moment of hesitation in there that you're not going to pull your technique off. So that's a big part of it. So there's the hard skill, which comes down to developing your acceleration, deceleration, change of movement, ability to pick the pace up, pick the pace down. Then there's the soft skill, the ability to adapt to the opponent. How quickly can you do it? How quickly can you anticipate them? How quickly can you read their movements? Okay, that's very important to understand. How quickly, because then only you can start to intercept them. And then that's where the part of deception comes in. Because another piece with regards to speed is, I can make you slower. If I make you slower, I become faster. So what do I mean by that? If I give you something to think about, something to ponder, now you are out of the zone. Now you are thinking, and I've brought your speed down. So you could go up against somebody way faster than you. But if you do things, maybe you yap at them to get them thinking, maybe you hit them in the balls, or you intercept them right away and they're like, oh man, and they start to think, or you put a finger in the eyes, they start to think. This moment that they start to think slows them down, so now you've brought their speed level down without even adjusting yours. So that's another way, and that's the part with regards to confidence. So you've got to have utter confidence with yourself that you do not hesitate, but then give your opponent something to think about so that they hesitate. That way, your speed increases, their speed decreases, and then that is how speed is an illusion. All right, welcome back. So now here's the thing we have to think about. The very first place with regards to speed, remember the hard skill starts with yourself. And you want the harmonious coordination of your mind and body working together. So the first piece is the body. Okay, so we have to make sure that the body is coordinated. That means we're able to recruit all the muscles from the ground up, the kinetic chain, and connect it into one unit. This is something that is very, very important. So you do not leak energy. That's what we call it. So that comes down to your stance, all right? And our stance, we want to be coiled like a cobra. That's what we're looking to do. So if I'm just kind of standing upright like this and I'm throwing something like that, it's just my hands moving and I'm not getting what's called the muscle irradiation, the ground reaction force to recruit the muscles through the kinetic chain and send those out through my movement. That's something that's very important because that leads to efficiency. That leads to your ability to relax, remember, as I mentioned before. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we are recruiting the muscles from the ground up. So the first thing in this connection, there's three muscle groups. Number one is the adductors. The adductors are the muscles that run on the inside of your legs, okay? Number two is the glutes, all right? We're all familiar with that. And number three is the lats. Now the lats, most people think the lats start out here because you look at bodybuilder lats, right? But the lats actually connect straight into the glutes. The lats start all the way down here and continue all the way up into your back. That's the lats. Now here's the difference. The lats up here to this, from here and above, they're what's called a red muscle fiber. The lats down here are called a white muscle fiber. Okay, so the red muscle fiber is like a regular muscle. You do lift your weights, you do pull downs, things like that, you can activate that. But the white muscle fiber is muscle fascia. And muscle fascia can only be contracted through a coiling motion. This is the reason why most people have lower back pain. This is also the reason and the exact difference between great athletes and everybody else. The great athletes, whether they know it or not, are able to recruit the lower lats through the white muscle fascia much easier than other athletes. And then what that allows is the back to be connected to the glutes, to be connected to the adductors, and then the system functions as one unit. This is something that's very important to understand. So how do we fire? First of all, the adductors on the inside. What I want you to do is this is from the WEC method, invented by David WEC, the inventor of the Bosu ball. So what you want to do is you want to get on the 4th and 5th metatarsals. The 4th and 5th metatarsals on the foot are right over here. That's the 4th and 5th metatarsals, okay? Not the ball of the feet. So on my hands, if my hands are representing my feet, the 4th and 5th metatarsals would be over here. That's where they would be on your feet, okay? Very important you see that. If you want to go on the internet, you can look up do a search for David Weck and green dots, and then he will show you exactly where they are on the feet. So when I'm on here, what I want to do is I want to put my weight on the 4th and 5th metatarsals, and I want to elevate my weight and put it there. That's very important. But see, if you notice, if I'm like that, the weight's on the balls of the feet. But the moment I put the weight on the 4th and 5th metatarsals, you notice there's space between the balls of the feet and the ground. Now there's a key difference is I don't want to be on the sides of my feet like the bladed edge of a sidekick. I want to be on the 4th and 5th metatarsals. Okay, that's very important. Now, from the 4th and 5th metatarsals, I take a V or a 90-degree angle. And from this 90-degree angle, I want to crush the ground like this with the 4th and 5th metatarsals. And as I do that, I start to lower myself down. And I keep my back absolutely straight. Now from here, I crush, and bring it up. And I breathe in, and I crush, and I bring it down. Then I crush, and I bring it up. It should be a maximal contraction, okay? That's the thing. The max number you should be able to do this if you're doing it right is like 5. You should never be able to do more than 5. That means you're not doing the maximal contraction. When you do that, you will start to fire the adductors. Here's another thing with the adductors. The adductors in general, science and research has found that they can only be recruited up to 20% in 2-dimensional plane of motion. So what I mean by that is if I was to go and hug a tree, put my legs around a tree, that's a 3rd dimension, and I crush that, I would get much stronger adductors. This is why jiu-jitsu practitioners have in amazingly strong adductors because they're always putting people in the guard and they're always crushing them. So they have that strength built up. The best way to do it is to get a Bosu Elite from the weckmethod.com. There's nothing like this on the planet. This is from the inventor of the Bosu ball. So once you get that, what you're going to do is you're going to get on this ball, all right? And if you want to see more details, you can go to the Weck Method and he'll share all that stuff with you. He's one of my coaches and partners. And what you're going to do is you're going to crush this as you come down. You're crushing it, you're crushing it, you're crushing it, you're crushing it, and then crush. It is an amazing tool because no matter how hard I crush this thing, and no matter how strong I get, this thing gives me a greater resistance. So the stronger you get, the stronger resistance you get. That's the only way to recruit the adductors to about 100% of their ability. Otherwise, if you do it just even on the ground, it's good, but you need 3 dimensions of 3-dimensional plane to crush it, to actually activate it to 100%. So think about it. If you're not turning these on, you're not going to be able to connect to the ground. This is very important. All right, so that's how we turn on the adductors. The glutes, anytime you do a squat, the glutes are easy to turn on. A kettlebell swing, do a squat, the glutes are simple to turn on. So we don't have to worry about that. Everybody can turn their glutes on, okay? The next piece is the lats, okay? So how do we get to that lower lat? Once again, we do what's called a royal coil, which is invented by David Weck. Now from here, you're gonna start with a V, okay? Now from the V, you step back, so you're in a straight line, you drop your left shoulder, supinate the hand, and tuck the elbow into your butt. Reach over and grab the temple, but it's very important that I look over my shoulder so I can see my heel. Now from here, I give it a maximal squeeze of 7 to 10 seconds. Oh, and you'll feel like a crazy cramp, like what happened? And if you just do one side, then that one side's turned on. So then again, you make the V, 90 degrees, step back, okay? Make sure that when you step back, you don't cross your legs and that you're not here. That there's a straight line between the balls of my feet and the heel. Now from this position, I'm gonna supinate, which means turn in, tuck my elbow into my butt, grab my head, look over my shoulders so I can see my heel, inhale, and contract. Look at that, I'm already sweating. That's the idea. So these things are very important so that the lats, the glutes, and the adductors are turned on. And when they are turned on, now we're starting to have the efficiency of movement. So regardless of what your style or system is, if you're not connected, your body is leaking energy, you can't be as fast as you could be. Stick with me as we come to the next step. All right, the next piece. So now that we've understood how to coil, we want to be coiled like a cobra. So my stance, okay, is here. It's coiled in. See, I coil in. So once I can recruit my adductors, my glutes, and my lats, I coil. That's the thing. I'm coiled in. When I'm coiled, my hands are not tense. The coil is there so that I can uncoil. That's the idea that we're looking for. So I'm coiled. So your fighting stance is your empty hand, you're coiled. See, when I'm coiled like this, my chin is automatically tucked. This is the human way to get ready to pounce, not up like this. You're here, I'm coiled. So regardless of what your style or system is, from here you're coiled, boom, you just uncoil out of there. That's the idea that you want to get to. If you want superior speed, it's about getting the spirals down in your body and being able to coil so you can recruit from the ground up, okay? So the next piece from here is going to be the following. It's called the bow principle of how I use my second hand, all right? Oftentimes what ends up happening is that we punch or hit a stick like this, or a knife, or an empty hand, whatever, and the other part of the body's not working. That's like if I'm running and I start running like this. It would be pretty silly. I'm not connecting my entire body. So what we want to do is we want to have the other hand, the second hand is the secret hand, because it pulls the bow. That's the idea. I always want to pull the bow. I want a coordination with my body. So I'm looking to pull the bow. So that's very important. Whenever you're throwing any strike, there's got to be a pulling of the bow. That's the next piece. The next piece after that is the head over foot. Okay, so if you notice, I stand here. I'm not here in the center. This means I'm double weighted. That means there's an equal amount of weight on my front and my back, on my back foot. That means if I want to go back, I have to first shift and then go. Or if I want to go forward, I have to shift and then go. That, you lose time. This is about speed. Speed comes down to efficiency and mastering your body and making sure you are not leaking any energy. So here, if you notice, my weight is to the front, or I might need my weight to the back. Pick one. That's totally up to you, where you feel comfortable. There'll be a time where you need this. There'll be a time where you need this. You don't want a time where you're in the center. So when I'm here, that just means I'm head over foot. Then I'm head over foot. Head over foot, head over foot. So my head transfers my weight, okay? So when I add head over foot with the hip and open the hip and pull the bow and I shift, that is what's gonna allow my strike to go out. So if you notice, it's not this, it's that. So it's my hip starting to shift. If I do nothing with my hand at all here, and I pull the bow and I fire the hip, boom, it just goes out, and when I pull my hip back, the stick comes back. I didn't even have to do anything. So from here, I'm coiled, but the stick goes out, but it just came back. I did absolutely nothing. When I start to do something, I introduce tension. When my body's coiled and it uncoils, it comes right back. It's absolutely effortless. Speed comes down to coordination and effortless and not leaking any energy. Okay, so to review, coil like a cobra, head over foot, pull the bow. When you pull the bow, you shoot the hip, and then you come back to the coil. Shoot the hip and come back to the coil. Now what leads it is the left hand pulls the bow. The left hand pulls the bow, the left hand pulls the bow. Okay, that's very important. So if I'm starting to jab, the next piece is my breathing. If you hold your breath, you will institute or you will apply tension in your body. Again, not allowing you to be fast. So you gotta have, every time I breathe, I let it out. If I hold my breath, I've created tension. Again, fighting myself. Now this is all about developing the hard skill of speed, those parts you can control of yourself. Very important that you spend time doing this. This is why we have forms practice. This is why we have shadow boxing. The best masters spend 90% of the time training on by themselves. They don't wait for a partner. Okay, that's very important that you understand this. So, I'm in the coil, head over foot, I pull the bow, fire the hip. Pull the bow, fire the hip, and I breathe. And I breathe, and I breathe. The next piece, when I start to move, I don't clunk on the balls of my feet. So right now at home, I want you to jump up and down and land on the balls of your feet. I want you to feel what that feels like. And you will notice all the pressure is going on the inside of your legs. But remember, when I showed you how to do the squat, I told you that the fourth and fifth metatarsals is what squeezes the ground. So when you land, I want you, if my hand is my foot, I want the fourth and fifth to touch first, then the ball touches. Fourth and fifth, then the ball. Fourth and fifth, then the ball. Because then what happens, you use the intrinsic quality, the bounce or the springiness of the foot to boom, bring you, just spring you back up as you go down. Now, you're not landing on the side of your foot, and this is a millisecond. It's just like you can't even be measured. So now I want you to imagine that as you just shift your weight, it's the fourth and fifth metatarsal. The fourth and fifth metatarsals is what's hitting first. And you can see, just what goes down comes up. What goes down comes up. In and down equals up and out. What is it? What is the force theory? If you apply a force in one direction, there's an equal and opposite force that comes the other direction. So as I go, gravity loads and unloads. See? Load and unload. This load and unload is what I want to take advantage of. So if I'm moving around and I'm bouncing, it becomes effortless. Okay, so practice those things. Head over foot, pull the bow, coil like a cobra, breathe, and when you hit the ground, fourth and fifth metatarsals transfer the weight to the ball of the foot, and you go bing, 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 and bounce. Give it a try. Now let's continue on to the 6-box theory, okay? So you understood the first part, head over foot, second hand pulling like a bow, shooting the hip out, the breathing, fourth and fifth metatarsals hitting the ground and coming from the coiled cobra. Okay, that's coiling and uncoiling, that's the idea. Now I want to add another piece to this. This is the 6-box theory of how to coordinate your body even further, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to take an X shape, okay? An X shape to start to learn this. So if I just did an X like that and you're watching at home, what's moving? It's only my arm that's moving. And most people that do an X, only the arm moves like this. The second hand is not moving. So you already know you should be moving the second hand. So if you notice, as I start to move the second hand, my hip starts to shift very naturally, okay? If I do head over foot without even doing anything, do you see how I'm starting to shift my weight by just shifting my head over foot? These are just things that I've already taught you in the first module. Now, for the first part of the 6 boxes, when my shoulder moves, my hip moves. So if you notice this, if my shoulder goes like this, my shoulder's here and my hip is that way. They're not in alignment. So when my shoulder moves, my hip moves. See, they're in alignment. Then if I go back the other way, my shoulder moves and my hip moves. See, this shoulder's moving, that hip is moving. Shoulder moves, hip moves. Shoulder moves, hip moves. Second hand is involved. Head is shifting over the foot. But shoulders and hips are the first 2 pieces of the 6-box theory. Shoulders and hips. The next piece, okay, let's take a look at it from this side. Shoulders and hips. Shoulders and hips. Shoulders and hips, okay? Now, the next piece is elbows and knees. So that means that when my shoulders and hips move, so if you notice, as my elbow is moving, my knee shifts. As my shoulder moves, my hip moves. So shoulders and hips, elbows and knee, they move together. Because if otherwise, I would be like this, okay? And my knee's pointing out the other way. And again, the pressure goes on my knee. And where the pressure goes, the force leaks. And if you're not coordinated and force is leaking, you won't be powerful, you won't be fast, you won't be precise, and you won't be accurate. You're once again beating yourself. So shoulders and hips, elbows and knees. Okay? Shoulders and hips, elbows and knees. Shoulders and hips, elbows and knees. Head is moving over the foot like before, and my second hand is active. Look at my second hand pulling the bow. I pull the bow. Then I close the bow. This is the idea. So shoulders and hips, elbows and knees. Shoulders and hips, elbows and knees. With a simple X, you can start to see the idea. Head over foot. See, as I move, head is over the foot. Shoulders are over the hips. Knees and elbows are moving. This is the idea that you want to develop this kind of coordination. The next piece is my hands and my feet must move together. So see, as my foot moves, my hand moves. So hands and feet, elbows and knees, shoulders and hips, head over foot, second hand movement. Give that a try to get down the 6-box theory. All right, let's continue on. So now let's take a look at how to start expressing the body using the stick. The stick has one of the greatest tools that you could utilize for speed and mechanics development because A, you've got something that's weighted on the other end, and that is gonna, once you go to empty hands, for example, you don't have that weight anymore, so you're gonna move a lot faster. Number 2, the stick teaches your body mechanics like nothing else. And number 3, when you actually start to do stick drills, the stick moves so fast that your mind starts to adapt to that speed, so that when you go to other things, they're a lot slower. When I swing and whip a stick at you like that, I mean, man, there's so much power coming and it's going over 100 miles an hour, so your brain starts to pick all those things up. So now let's take a look at the geometric shapes that we can use to create the different body mechanics that are necessary for us to get mastery over the body. Now these mechanics will also transfer over for you for your stick biting, for your empty hands, but we're really targeting here using them to develop body mechanics and the harmonious coordination of the body, the mind, and the breath. So it's working as one unit. So the first shape, that was the X, and I showed you that earlier. And every time you're doing this, you're saying to yourself, head over foot. Head over foot, what is my second hand doing? Head over foot, what is my second hand doing? When I land on the ground, are my 4th and 5th metatarsals hitting first and transferring over to the ball of the foot? I'm saying that, and I'm saying to myself the 6-box, shoulders and hips, elbows and knees, hands and feet, head over foot, and what is my second hand doing? And I want to be breathing, but if you notice, I'm doing it while talking. That means I'm managing my air that well. If I'm not talking, this is the sound. I take 2 sharp breaths in through my nose, bypass the throat, bypass the chest, and go straight to the belly. I'm not doing breathing like yoga or Tai Chi, where they're long breaths. That's for relaxation. It's for meditative purposes. The fighting breath is 2 sharp breaths in through your nose, straight to the belly. And then when I exhale, I don't do that because that's not effective. When I go 2 sharp in and that's the fastest way for me to get the air into my lower lungs. That's how I know I inflate my lower lungs. But when I exhale, I'm like managing the air going out like a balloon going shoo, 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 shoo. So then I know, oh, it's getting close to 50%, I better up my air. I never want my air to go below 50, and I never need to fill it over 75. So here's the beauty, I only ever have to manage 25% of air. That is the beauty. So I never get below 50% and get to the point of hyperventilation. Or I never get to the point of tension where that's hypoventilation, holding the air. We don't want any of those 2 extremes, okay? We want to be between 75 and 50, but we get the air in quick, 2 sharp in through the nose, and I let it out, and I only let it out to the point when I get to 50 and then I re-up the air. That might be faster or slower depending on the pressure that's being placed on me. But when I understand what my meter is, that's very important. The second thing is when you're doing the breath, you're creating a biofeedback loop. That means when you're hearing yourself breathing, guess what you're doing? You're breathing, you're not holding the breath. So that's a huge thing. Then the next piece from that too is, have you ever felt that when a baby's crying, what sound do you make to make the baby feel better? Shh, shh, shh. When somebody's freezing cold, what sound do they make to relax? Shh. When somebody's really sad and you go console them, what do? Shh, shh, it's gonna be okay. The shh sound allows you to relax and disperse anxious energy. That's very important. That goes down to Chinese medicine. And Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners, if you go into high-level black belts rolling around, you'll hear them breathing like this. Breathing is the most important thing. If you're not leading with breathing, you can never get to stillness, you can never master your perception, and you can never master your attention and awareness. That comes back to your breath. So attention and awareness to be mastered starts by first mastering the breath and making sure you never lose your breath. Then you won't panic, and then you'll be able to be the observer, the watcher, and then adjust and adapt to the situation and truly be like water, okay? So the X was the first shape. All right, now another shape is making a plus. All right, I'm just making a plus, horizontal, and then I come down vertical, or I come up vertical, come down horizontal. It's just a plus shape. Think of the shape and make the shape. When you superimpose the X on top of the plus, you get an asterisk in pretty much every single angle of attack there is in every single martial arts system that exists, without having to learn the numbering system. It's just smart physics and geometry. So you have the X, you have a plus sign, okay? Then after that you have circles. Circles, see the circles make a different mechanic. I have circles in this plane, I have circles in this plane. So this is a forehand circle, this is a backhand circle. This is a helicopter circle above your head. You see that? That's the idea. So I can circle here, I can circle here, I can circle here. Or I can circle on a diagonal like a whip or a bolo. All right, so that's just a circular motion. So if you understand now, here's an X, here's a plus, here's the circle, circle, okay? Circle, 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 all right? That's how you're gonna start to develop your mechanics. Notice how every time I do something, the 6 box is active, head over foot is active, left hand is active, okay? All these things, and I'm breathing is active. Then we have thrust. Thrust in, thrust up, thrust high, thrust into the body, thrust into the other body the other way. So then you have thrust. Okay, so that's the basic idea. X plus circle, 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 okay? And a thrust, all right? That's pretty much every angle that exists. If you practice those, you will start to get control over your body by practicing those geometric shapes. Now, I want to give you another pattern that is going to be extremely huge for you for your speed, okay? This is the backhand, vertical down, backhand pattern. And this is an amazing fighting pattern. So once again, this will involve my feet. So now I come into my coil, never not uncoil. I'm in my coil. See, my back foot is raised up because it's like a piston, ready to propel me forward. I'm not flat, because if I'm flat and I have to move, what do I have to do? I have to lift the heel. If I have to lift the heel, I'm inefficient. I just lost a piece of speed. So speed, it comes down to efficiency and mastering yourself first. Okay, so now I'm locked in, boom, chin is tucked, I'm coiled. Now from here, I do a push shuffle, so I push and I fire the hip. So if I just practice the jab by itself, bam! If you notice this, that spring springs me forward, and then I just coil to come back. So I uncoil, coil, uncoil, coil. Head over foot, head over foot. Left hand, left hand. I can double it up. That's the idea of the jab. So there's the idea. If you notice, I'm not stopping here. Right at the very end, let my hip extend forward, and that's the angle that I get to. So I'm not doing this. There's the idea. Straight to center line. I don't want to go past. That's inefficient. I don't want to stop short. I'm not going to reach my target. Okay? So, coil, uncoil. Breathe with the hip. Okay? So now, the pattern. I shuffle forward, backhand. Then I imagine like I'm doing a cross, and then I hit down. And then from here, I'm loaded in my front hip. And then I uncoil from the front hip and fire another backhand high and pull the bow. Okay, so I'm in the coil, uncoil, drop down, uncoil again. Coil, uncoil down and up. That's the idea. My head is making the motion work. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. So you make it a 5 count. 1, 2, 3. Then drop 4 back. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's the idea. It's a great workout, okay? Breathing, coiling, and uncoiling. Start slow. But you want to practice speed slow first, so you get the mechanics. Then go medium speed. Then you gotta do it as fast as possible too. It's very important. Don't spend all your time as fast as possible. But if you don't do it as fast as possible, you're not gonna get this going. That's very important that you understand it. And you can see I'm breathing and still talking. That's the idea. So I'm managing my breath and still going. That's the idea. Give it a try. All right, let's continue on. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at another great pattern and then put all the patterns as I showed you together. This one is the upward figure 8 and then the abanico or the fan. So the upward figure 8, again, really teaches you to shift your hips. That's the idea, and work the 6-box. That's the idea. I can start with the backhand 1, 2, 3, or the forehand. 1, 2, 3. All right, so it's very important though that you're working the shoulders and hips, elbows and knees, feet and hands. So if you look at my feet, if you notice, the feet move. The feet move as my hands move. The feet, see, the feet move. The feet move. The feet move. When the feet move, they allow my knees to track with my toes. If my knees are like that, my toes are like that, I'm gonna hurt myself and I'm gonna leak energy. But if you see here, the toes and the knees are in the same line, and I'm strong over here. I'm not leaking. Now look, knees and toes. Then as I shift the feet, and I shift to the other side. I shift and I shift. With the upward figure 8, you can take it in different sizes too. So this is an even one. So I'm making it a symmetrical upward figure 8. I can make this part big and this part small. This part big and that part small. So that's still a figure 8 or an infinity. I can change the plane. Right now I'm looking at you, and now I can bring it here. That's still a figure 8. This is still a figure 8. So that's what I want you to see as I start to change the plane, the size of the figure 8. And then I have other transition moves that can come out from this idea. But I just shift, I shift, I shift, I shift, and I change. And the next idea here is the fan, or the abanico. Abanico can be here. And see, this teaches me to turn my hips. So when you go, that's what allows me to pull. For the figure 8 allows this to happen of the hips. So the upper figure 8 and the abanico allow my motion to work really well together because I'm coordinating. So they're really awesome. So the abanico can be up above your head, 1, 2, 3, or 1 and 2, 1 and 2. It can be in this plane, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. But if you notice when I do this, it's not my stick. It's the whole body and the 6-box working. Then the next plane is this plane. So 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So this one, that one. So that is the upper figure 8 and the abanico. You can also have the abanico on a diagonal. Up, down, up, right? So it just has to go like this. But look at my mechanics. Shift, 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 shift. So that's the abanico. Now, I can combine the upper figure 8 and the abanico into one motion. So watch me. Here I'm doing upper figure 8. There's the abanico, see? So as I'm doing this, I'm having the abanico work with my upward figure 8. Here, 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 here. Now I start to combine all the movement together. Give it a try, but don't lose your breath. All right, now that we've taken a look at the body mechanics and how to coil the body and connect it into one, how to use the various different shapes, once again, to learn how to express yourself and express the human body so you get to a point where it does it all by itself and everything is a harmonious, coordinated movement of the mind, body, and the breath. The next thing we want to do, remember, I said that speed is controlled by your management of time and space. So your footwork controls the distance and the distance controls the timing. So let's take a look at a few broken rhythm footwork examples that you can institute into your style and system. Play, come on. Okay, so what you normally see is a step and a slide, okay? A step and a slide. So the person out here, they step and they slide, right? They step and they slide. So Clay, adjust and move with me a little bit. So you back off as I go. See, he kind of can see that. So when I'm moving around, that's more like a stalking footwork, where I step and I slide. Step and slide, step and slide. But he'll see that coming. So the first thing I do is I set a rhythm of step and slide, and then I shuffle. So by the shuffle, I shuffle. I push shuffle with my rear foot. So first, I have the step and slide, looks similar, but I'm stepping with my front foot and sliding my rear foot. That's a step and slide. But a push shuffle is I push with my rear foot and both my feet shuffle forward. The instant I shuffle forward, I shuffle back. Especially when I'm in my coil, I shuffle forward and I shuffle back. That's the idea. Step and slide versus a shuffle. Okay, that's the idea of what you see. Other side. Step and slide versus a shuffle. Okay, now once you've got that down, we want to start adding what's called a stealing step. So the stealing step is a variation of a push shuffle like I just showed you, but I steal my rear foot. So I steal it, when I steal it, I don't steal it more than 3/4. That's the key thing. I'm not doing this. That's pretty much a slide step. So this is a slide and then a step. When I steal the step, that's what I do. Boom, and then I load that and I push shuffle off it. What it does is it breaks up the rhythm and breaks up the timing. Also, it gets me a little bit closer to loading so I can spring forward. That's the idea. So when I'm over here like this, it's just a little hesitation. With the stick, hold the stick over like that, there you go. So I'm way far out, see? I can barely reach from here. I steal this and I shoot forward. steal this, shuffle back. Steal it, shuffle back. Steal it, shuffle back. But if you notice when I shuffle back, look at my front leg. I steal it, I shuffle back. I stay on my front leg. So my rear leg doesn't hit the ground. So as I steal, see, I come back. I don't go steal and then boom. So I steal and I'm back. And I steal and I'm back. I steal and I'm back. So my front foot doesn't hit. Sorry, my rear foot doesn't hit and screw up my momentum. So, steal and back. Steal and back. Steal and back. It's so small. Sometimes it's just even on the spot. It didn't even move. It's just a hesitation. But I load the leg. So just, or I steal it a little bit and I come back. All right? The next one is skipping the front heel. So I skip the front heel, skip the front heel, skip the front heel. Now my rear foot comes in like a cat stance. So if you notice, the stick hits at the same time my feet hit the ground. So it's not, that's after. Okay, so that is the heel skip. That's the heel skip. The first one was the steal step, okay? So, heel skip, steal step. Now, if I combine the steal step to the heel skip, it goes, breaks the rhythm and allows me to shuffle forward a lot further. And those are going to be your options. Okay, let me do all four for you. This is the shuffle. This is the steal. This is the heel step. This is the steal to the heel. Master those, and you'll master your ability to shuffle forward and attack your opponent. Break the rhythm while you're doing it. You'll get there faster, but by breaking the rhythm, you will make them slower. Now, I want to show you one of the best hand speed drills that you could use with sticks. It's 2 sticks in a Wally drill. And we're going to teach you the heaven pattern, the heaven and earth pattern, and the earth pattern. Now, very important, eye protection. All right, I just like black sunglasses, it looks cool. I don't like wearing those goofy clear ones. That's all that is. But I can see just as fine. But the most important thing is that, look, I could break a finger, I could break an arm, no problem. I could twist a knee, no problem. Break an ankle, no problem. I come back, right? Injure my shoulder, no problem. I lose my eyeball, I can't grow that back. So, I mean, every time I see people pick up a stick or pick up a knife and they don't use eye protection, you are not being an interceptor and intercepting the future possibility of an injury. So if you're not even aware of that at this stage, you're not going to be able to defend yourself in a fight either, because your awareness is not where it needs to be. So start with first the awareness of protecting yourself in training. Always have a training shade with you. Okay. Okay, so the heaven set is all high. Okay, so look, we go forehand, backhand, backhand, forehand, backhand, backhand, forehand, backhand, backhand, forehand, backhand, backhand, and backhand, backhand, forehand, backhand, backhand. This is really good because it builds up the coordination of both the left and the right side, utilizing the cognitive function of both sides of the brain, increases the neuroplasticity in the brain, so it allows you to grow, right? Your ability for what your body can actually do by working both sides of the center line. That's where the theory comes into. So start with this one first, and we're going to do this a little bit. We'll go slow, medium, and then we'll speed it up, and you'll see how quick your hands will start to flow. So for trapping or empty hands or knife or clinching or karate or taekwondo, whatever your art may be, when you start adding this drill in or Wing Chun, your hands are going to move so fast, okay? Because this is just an amazing attribute development drill. Okay, ready, Clay? So we'll start smooth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Faster. Very good. So you can see, man, you just dial in, your eyeballs dial in, you dial into the moment. It's a very cool feeling when it's going so fast and you have to like let go to get into that space. That's what you're gonna need in a fight, okay? This is an attribute, not a fighting drill. It's an attribute development drill for hand speed, okay? Let's take a look at another variation of this, and that's heaven and earth, okay? Come on in. This time we're gonna go high, low, high, high, low, high. High, low, high, high, low, high, high, low, high, high, low, high. Okay, so we're changing levels this time. Okay, extend on the low one. There you go. Okay, a little faster. Faster. Start to get cooking. I wish you could smell that smell. It's a cool smell when the wood starts to burn. Now you know you're cooking, yeah? I'll show you one more. That's all low. So again, forehand, backhand, backhand, forehand, backhand, forehand, and backhand, and backhand. Again, changing the plane. Are you gonna fight somebody like that? No. You know, the technical idea they said behind that was, if you're fighting like outside in the environment and you're going up a hill and somebody's coming at you, that's when you'd be fighting them like that. Or back in the day, you're going up a stairwell. As you're going up, you're fighting somebody coming down. But we're using this as an attribute development drill. Now, I'm gonna share with you the ultimate secret of these. So once you get down high, with all high, so it's called heaven 6 because it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you get down heaven and earth 6, high, low, high, high, low, high. Then you get down earth 6, all low for 6 beats. You're gonna do heaven and earth, okay? And in heaven and earth, you're gonna look to steal beats and do double hits, okay? So you're learning to jump on the half beats and find the window. So now he's got like this fan going, and in the fan, you're still keeping up with the fan, but then you're looking to insert a beat and return to the fan without getting your hand cut. It's kind of a cool concept, okay? Play. So really slowly, he's gonna keep a rhythm going for me of 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So he keeps that rhythm going for me. Next I take my first one, and I return, see? He's keeping the rhythm going, counting in his head. Then I look for the next one. Then I look for the next one after this on the outside. And here was my first one. Here was the second one. Here was the outside one. First, second, outside. First, second, outside. Okay, get the idea. All right, come on to this side, Clay. So if you notice, he's just standing there keeping a beat going for me. That's very important. He's trying to do this separately. Because even here, ready? Then I can start to take it with one stick, see? And that's the idea. So I'm learning half beats, half beats. Extend it more. There you go. find those half beats, okay? Give that a try and play. You'll miss at times. It's all good. It's all about finding your way back in. Now I'm going to turbocharge the drill for you. Now that you know the heaven six, you know the heaven and earth six, and you know the earth six. Once you understand those drills, now what we're going to do is we're going to start to add half beats and start to take advantage of those gaps in time and space. So it's almost like there's a blender going, and in the middle of the blender, I'm trying to steal half beats and stick my hand in and get back out of the blender. So let's take a look and see what this does. Okay, Clay, come on out, please. So if you see here, boom. All right, now we're doing the drill. We're keeping this range. Very important you keep a long range here with the stick. Okay? Now I'm going to look to find, there's the half beat. And Clay's keeping a rhythm of 1 and 2. 1 and 2. He's keeping that rhythm in his head. There's the half beat. So now that's the first one. Right there, and then drop back down. Right there, and drop back down. Then I take the second one. Now we'll look for the third one. So here was the first one. The second one. The third one. And then we flow. Extend, extend. And go to the side. Okay, here we go. I can go single, back to double, half beat. Then the idea will start to flow. Right? Give it a try and see if you can find those half beats. Go for it. Another part of developing speed comes down to reflexes, okay? Reflexes and your ability to fake and feint different angles. And one of the best drills to do that is the Filipino drill of sombrada, especially when it starts to become free flow. In the beginning, most people do the sombrada drill as a click, 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 counter for counter drill where there's a set memorized pattern. That is the starting basis of it all. But once you have that, the goal is to fake and feint angles, break rhythms, and start to create a moment of chaos. In this moment of chaos, the feeder and the receiver, they're both finding the stillness in that chaos, the stillness in the storm is what they're looking to do. And that's the real purpose of these drills. So you get out of your head. So you have to first learn the form. Then you have to get into the flow. And then you become formless. That is the process of training. And to develop your speed, your reaction time, your ability to fake and feint, this is one of the best drills out there for both the feeder and the receiver. We're working on this together. I'm working my fakes, he's working catching the fakes. And when he feeds me back, then I get to work the flip side. So it's an amazing thing, because remember, we want to get out of our heads and get into the flow. When we're in the flow, when we're in what I call the high performance zone, there's three superpowers: the ability to connect, the ability to adapt, and the ability to create. That is the mark of a master martial artist. Let's give it a try. Okay, all right, please. So the regular sombrada drill is boom, 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 boom. It's a 10 count. You've seen it everywhere, okay? This is to teach you the angles. Roof block, inside sweep, drop stick, wing, outside deflection, roof block, okay? And then we work our feet, and we work the timing, to learn the counters, right? I want my body to learn the natural counters. That's it. So our goal here is to, when he feeds me, he gives me an angle 1. I take the roof block, I feed him back, he takes an inside sweep. I drop the stick down, I give him a 5, okay? He gives me the 2, I do the wing. From here, he does a roof block. I do the inside sweep, he does the drop, I do the deflection, he does the outside, and we're back in the drill. That's a basic 10 count drill, okay? That's designed for you to learn your lines, the line of attack, okay? Spatial relationship, and footwork, and the basic counters. So that's the first part of learning reaction times, to learn which are the appropriate reactions. So you have to learn them within a form. So once you've got that down, you have to then start to break the form. Okay, that's the idea. So how do I break the form? All right. So as we're flowing, the first fake or feint, we're doing our flow. I fake the 1, I go to the 2. I fake the 1 and I go to the 2. Fake the 1 and I go to the 2. That's the first one. Okay? The next one. I fake the 4 and I come to the 1. So he has to pick that up. I fake the 4 and I come to the 1. So you see my mechanics as where he does the roof form. Instead of coming all the way here, which he would do the drop stick to, okay, do the drop stick please. Boom, to hit my stick in. As I come here, I change my mechanics. I don't go feed it in and then go. As I'm coming here, I turn it, and look, he has to shift real quick to pick it up. Then from there he continues, he wipes that out, and then that changes the flow. I fake the 4, come back. There's the idea. I gave him the 4, fake the 1, come to the 2. Fake the 4. Fake the 4, 1, back to the 2. You can see just with those 2 things what a dynamic happens. If you notice there at one time, I faked the 4 to the 1 to the 2, okay? So we were here, boom. I faked the 4, I went to the 1, and I came back to the 2. Okay, so that was a broken rhythm of a 0, 0, 1. So when we look at broken rhythm, you can have 0, 1, that means 0 is a feint, 1 is real. Then you can have 0, 0, 1, okay? That is feint, feint, real, okay? When you play with those 2 combos, it'll make it really cool for you, okay? That's breaking the rhythm and changing the cadence of the broken rhythm. Very important to understand. Because once you start to get this, that's what makes you fast. And that's what makes his reactions fast. But guess what? We're making it formless within the form. That's where you get flow. And you get better in flow. That's the whole point of the yin-yang. You have to have the form, the yang, and the formlessness, the yin. And they must work together. So you can get out of the simple drill. If you've been doing that simple Sombrada drill for a decade, and you're not breaking the flow, you're not building real-time mechanics. You're not getting better. So it's going to really help you. Let's take a look at another one. All right. So, boom. So we saw 4 to the 1. We saw 1 to the 2. Now 5 to the 5. And look at how he makes him move his feet. Right? I feint the 5. He reacts like it's real. I give him the 5 again. So what's the rule? When somebody fakes you, treat it like it's real. Just treat it like it's real. So check it out. When I go to fake the 1, he treats it like it's real and then picks up the other one. When I give him the 4, he treats it like it's real and then picks up the other one. When I give him the 5, he treats it like it's real and picks up the other one. That is how you deal with a fake. You don't freeze. Don't freeze. Treat it like it's real. So let's see that again in motion. Boom. Feint, and then I come back. And we flow. 1 to the 2. 5 to the 5. 4 to the 1. 1 to the 2, 5 to the 5, 1 to the 2, 4 to the 1. That's it. He should start feeling jittery like that. That's very important. That is starting to stress the nervous system. If you're not stressed, if in every training session, if you don't stress your nervous system, you're not getting better. That's the sign. When you get like a flinch, a jitter, then you know, guess what? The nervous system is making new wirings and new connections in your brain. Okay, now let me give you a 4th fake. Ready, go. Okay, let me start the flow. Bam! I give the 1, he goes up, bam, and I fire the kick right up the center. Alright? 4 to the 1. 4 to the 1. 1 to the 2. Move below. There's idea. Okay, he starts to get overwhelmed. So we'll do it slow now. Kind of the idea of how you're going to build that up. So those are your 4 basic feints that you could use. Here's one more, number 5. I feint the 4 and fire across. So as we go here, I feint that, bam. And what he has to do is he drops, then he picks up the stick. But guess what? I fire that one back. Because it's sneaky, it's loaded. Remember from this one, I'm loaded now. So I feint the 4, fire the cross, yeah. Now we start to flow. That's why you need safety glasses. Right? There's an example. No safety glasses, stick in the eyeball. Not cool, all right? And now I start to overwhelm them. You're like, oh, I took that one on the noggin. So there's the idea. So now I start to steal my beats of half beats after the fades to add the hit and come back, which he's not going to react to. So now we both start to what? Play. The key to flow is to have fun and build friendship and family as you do it. Ready, Clay? Let's just have fun this round. I mean, if you're not having fun, dude, what's the point? Enjoy it, have fun. Because if you want to get fast, you better be having fun. If you want to get fast, you gotta get out of your head. If you want to get fast, you're gonna make mistakes. Get over it. Have fun doing it.